Look, don't get me wrong, I like what DC's been doing and I'm looking forward to seeing Aquaman. I'm just saying, Sony and Marvel got Spider-Ham on the big screen before DC could give The Flash his own movie. That's all I'm saying, really. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is an animated Spider-Man movie brought to us by Sony, and our main Spider-Man this time around is not Peter Parker, it's Miles Morales, who is a very popular character in the comics, but I don't read the comics, so I don't know Miles Morales that well, and I don't have a PS4, so I don't know Miles Morales that well, but this movie is a Miles Morales Spider-Man origin story of sorts. The Kingpin has put together this super collider that bends space and time and dimensions, so now all these different spider people from different dimensions have come together and now we gotta save the day. And I'm not gonna keep you in suspense. I thought this movie was great. Miles Morales is certainly a great character, because he's a young kid. He's younger than Peter Parker normally is. I think he's just in middle school. So when he obtains his spider powers, he's confused at first. And it was like Spider-Man Homecoming where he did slip up and he made mistakes. And you would think, once again, that would irritate me, but the reason it didn't this time around is because you have other spider people in the movie doing badass things in the meantime. Like you have older Peter Parker from another dimension, he's voiced by Jake Johnson. And at first, yeah, he's a bit of a slob because things have happened in his life. He's been Spider-Man for 10, 20 years. The thrill has worn off with him, but he has to teach this younger kid to be Spider-Man now. It's like Luke Skywalker and Rey, where it's like, alright, I'll teach you if you really want, I guess. But I've been out of the game for a while. I gotta say the coolest character in this movie was Spider-Gwen. Gwen Stacy, voiced by my future wife, Haley Steinfeld. And I like how she's in the movie to be more than just the cool, female awesome character. She does provide more to the story than that. I'm not gonna say what because, no spoilers here. The other spider people in this movie are more or less there for just comic relief. Like Spider-Man Noir, voiced by Nicolas Cage. He's hilarious. Spider-Ham is really funny. You even have Diva from Overwatch in this movie. When I first saw this spider person, I was like, oh, they got Diva from Overwatch. Seriously, like the way she operates in the movie is like right out of Diva from Overwatch. I've never heard of Penny Parker before. Maybe she's a character in the comics? I don't know. I've never heard of her. She's cool though. But yeah, these other spider characters, they're not really developed. I wasn't expecting them to be developed, and they're not. They're just there to be funny, but they do it pretty well. However, can I just say the animation in this movie was freaking beautiful. This is like a comic book springing to life. I dare say this movie is the closest I'm ever gonna get to actually reading a Spider-Man comic book. Like, you'll see comic book, like, thought bubbles come out of people's heads, or, dialogue boxes popping up, and sometimes it'll do that transition where it goes to, like, it zooms out and it's a comic book panel, and then it goes to another one. It's very clever. I liked it. Movies have done that before, like The Warriors, but it worked in that movie, and it worked in this one. Kids, don't watch The Warriors until you're older. Trust me. This movie was hilarious, too. I feel like the humor in this movie was very similar to, like, the Lego Batman movie, for example. Like, humor-wise, this movie did for Spider-Man what the Lego Batman movie did for Batman. It made fun of itself. Like this movie admits, yeah, there have been some trip-ups along Spider-Man movies along the way, and we acknowledge that mistake. It was great. Now, this being an animated movie, it's just under 2 hours long. It's like 1 hour 58, just as long as Incredibles 2. So the plot did feel kind of rushed at times, but for the vibe it was going for the movie, I felt it worked really well. Like, sometimes it'll go boom, 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 like really fast through a scene because we gotta get the story moving. You get the point of what the story's trying to do here, so let's just move on with it. It can be kind of jarring at times, but I'm just letting you know that. For me, it worked with the vibe of the movie. If I'm looking for things I didn't like about this movie, I didn't like the Kingpin. This might be a nitpick, but I didn't like the way he was animated. He was like this giant dude who was like a hunchback. He's walking around like, yeah, I'm the Kingpin. Like everyone else in this movie looks like a normal human being, and Kingpin looks like a weird hunchback giant. It was strange to me. But really, to me, that's the biggest glaring issue of the film. The music in this movie was awesome. Yes, that's the soundtrack. That's the cover artwork. Pretty cool. That Vince Staples song that was in the first trailer, I've been looking for it for months, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Now it's finally out, and it's a great song. And there's songs like that all over this movie. Of course, again, it makes sense. It fits with the vibe of the film. As far as the score goes, it was done by Daniel Pemberton, and it's not really prominent in this film. I don't even know if it's been officially released yet. This is one of those movies where it's more about the soundtrack than the score. But it is good stuff all around. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, in the end, had great characters, great story. I love the animation. It's a solid Spider-Man movie in every sense of the word. I'll say right now, I like this movie better than Spider-Man Homecoming. I was really debating my rating on this because I don't know if I've been too nice to movies recently, but then I remembered, like, why should I feel bad about that? It's my own opinion. And in my opinion, this movie delivered a solid Spider-Man story, so for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I will say without blinking an eyelash, go see this movie right now. And this movie does have a post-credits scene. It's really good, so stick around after the credits. There's also a great dedication to Stan Lee. Man, I never got a chance to meet him in person. My brother did. And I will be forever jealous. But I certainly want to see more movies like this. More movies in this animation style. I want to see a sequel. I just want to see this franchise open up. I want to see. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, have you seen it yet? What did you think about it? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.